Greetings, Lady Shepsa Jones here from Let Go, Let Goddess, Sacred Sexuality Healer, Coach, and Author, coming to bring you my Goddess Love Letter of the Week, which I am so excited about. Goddess, I love you, and I want you to make space, okay? I want you to create space. So, since we had our last Goddess Love Letter, it is now fall, it is now autumn, and it's also October. So we are moving into our final months of the year. So I want to spend some time talking about the significance of the season of fall for you to be able to tap into this magical time, this time of great potential, so that you can use the magic of fall for your benefit. So we're going to be talking about creating space by tapping into the metal element. So in Taoism, aka Chinese medicine, metal is the element for the fall season, okay? Okay, metal is the element for the season of the fall. All right, so before I talk about fall, I want to talk about the previous season, which is the summertime. So the element for the summertime in Chinese medicine and Taoism is fire, which makes sense, right? Because in the summertime, it's hot, energy is at its peak. We tend to be outside more. You know, we outside, we in the park, we are going to live concerts, we're going to outdoor events, we're swimming, we're going to the beach, we're doing all these things, and our energy is very externalized. The Taoists say that fire energy moves up and out like a firework, right? Like those 4th of July fireworks. That is the energy of fire. It's hot and we are outside. So fall, what happens in fall? The energy begins to move more internal. The temperature begins to drop. We experience cooler weather. Maybe it's not as sunny and bright as it was during the summertime. We start to wear sweaters. We start to put on our hoodies, sweater weather, and we start to move more internal. So that is the energy of the fall season and the metal element. The metal energy moves down and contracts, all right? So if you think about energy, you know, fire moves up and out, metal goes down and it contracts, it condenses in a way that forms something solid like metal, okay? So the fall time is a time where we begin to slow down. All that kind of hyperactivity of summer, you know, we're not outside as much because it's cooler, but depending upon where you live. But I'm in New York, so it's cold. So, you know, we begin to really slow down. We begin to get more internal. So the metal element is about beginning to go within, right? Beginning to reflect. And when we're going in and we're reflecting, what do we need to do? We start to realize that, wow, there's some things that I need to let go. So the metal element in the fall season is about releasing, it's about letting go. All right, so we've gone through the whole cycle, all the seasons of the year. We had the height of summer. So now we're beginning to slow down. We're beginning to reflect. We're beginning to contemplate, what do I want to bring with me, right? What's good that I want to keep that happened this year? And what am I not feeling that I need to let go and create space for? This is why I said we're creating space for this Goddess Love Letter. So if you think about the trees, what happens to the trees in the fall? They begin to change colors, right? They begin to go from the green and they turn all these beautiful colors, the fall colors, right? The yellows, the reds, and then eventually the browns until they die and kind of fall off. They let go because they know the season is over. The trees are letting go their leaves to prepare to really be at rest during winter. So the beautiful thing about indigenous cultures like Taoist cultures is that it's based upon nature. So a way we can live in harmony with our life is to be in harmony with the seasons, to be in harmony with nature. So often we feel this need to release and to let go during the fall season, but sometimes we resist it, right? We're afraid to release, we're afraid to let go. And what happens? We begin to feel what? Sad. So you have a lot of people who experience seasonal depression. During this season, it starts in the fall time. because it's not as much sun anymore. We become more internal, more reflective. We start looking at ourselves and looking at our lives. Sometimes we don't like what we're seeing, so we begin to feel sad. We may experience grief. The major emotion associated with the fall time is the grieving. Also, I'm touching this part of my body. The lungs. The lungs is the organ for the metal element, lungs and large intestines. So in the same way that we inhale, well, we got to exhale, right? We got to let go. We don't exhale. I mean, I don't know, we can't live. So we have to exhale in fall season as well. Okay, we have to release, we have to let go. And you will also find during the season of the fall, there are a lot of respiratory elements, a lot of flus, a lot of, colds and coughing, all types of things get triggered because during the season that an organ is prominent, you will find that that organ is weak. Okay, so for the fall season, it is the organ of the lungs, also the large intestines. And you know about the large intestines, right? Basically our colon. What does our large intestines do? It processes, what we eat and it moves it through the colon, and so we defecate, right? So we release and we let go what we don't need through our large intestines. In the same way that our lungs exhale, right, the carbon monoxide, right? Carbon dioxide. I think I messed it up. But anyway, carbon. The fuels that the plants, absorb that they need to live. But anyway, we release these fumes from our lungs. So it's about receiving, but also really letting go. And when we don't let go, what will we experience? We will experience sadness. We will experience grief. Sometimes we do experience grief naturally when it's time to let something go. But if we don't allow ourselves to grieve, if we don't allow ourselves to feel the sadness, then we will experience excess grief, excess sadness, which damages our lungs. So anytime you find yourself having a respiratory illness, then maybe you want to look at your lungs, and if you are grieving anything, if there's anything that you need to let go, if there's anything that you're sad about, you might want to really stop and spend some time checking that out, okay? During this season of the fall, we also want to be strengthening our immune system. So you should be taking immune building herbs. It's not wise to wait until you're sick to work on your immune system. You really should be working on your immune system all year long, but this season of fall is especially important to work on your immune system. I like working with herbs like reishi. Reishi is a mushroom that actually builds up your wei qi. Your wei qi is basically a protective energy field that's around your body. And it's great for boosting your immune system. It even brings spiritual insight. So if you don't know about reishi, look at reishi. I'm also going to be working with astragalus this season, which also helps. It's something you could take every day, and it helps to strengthen and build your immune system. So do your own research and find what things that you can take to strengthen your immune system so that you have this kind of protection barrier that you won't be so easily penetrated by the respiratory viruses that are going around during the season of fall. And also be sure that you are checking in with your emotions, that if you do feel sadness, if you do feel grief, that you're giving yourself space to process it. We have all experienced a lot of grief as a world community in this past couple of years. And I know in a lot of our own personal lives, mine included, we have experienced grief. Both of my parents passed in the past 2 years. So, it's a lot of stuff that's in that. And this is a really good time to take some time to really sit with those emotions and allow them to move through you. When we repress emotions, when we repress our grief and our sadness, then this is how we get sick, right? And Taoism, the belief is that any physical ailment that we have first manifests on a spiritual level, an emotional level. And if that level is not dealt with, then it begins to manifest in the body, because your body, your soul is trying to be like, look, you got to deal with this. Okay, so if you find yourself getting repeated respiratory illnesses, then you may want to spend some time and meditate with your lungs. What do you need to release? What do you need to let go? Okay, so that brings me to the 3 tips that I have to help you to tap into this season of fall, to help you to be able to let go. So number 1, purge and detox. So first thing you need to do, you should evaluate what it is that you need to release and let go. So this can be as simple as looking at clothes, old clothes that you need to release and let go, like literally going through your closets, going through your drawers, old food that's been in your cabinet that you know you're not going to eat, it's been there all year, throw it away, purge, detox, okay? I'm going to be doing that this week. Number 2, as you are purging and you're detoxing, right, you're releasing, remember that you are creating space. It's not just about throwing things away. You're releasing what no longer is serving you so that you can create space for what does. So as you are doing this purge and detox, think about, what am I calling in? What am I calling in to replace this? Even if it's like old clothes, right? You know, I got these old funky clothes that I'm not wearing. So I'm calling in some new clothes. I'm calling in some fly, sexy clothes. Okay, if I'm releasing relationships, then I'm calling in better and more aligned relationships. So think about it as creating space. Number 3, the beautiful thing about the metal element is that it is the element of truth. It is the element of integrity. It's the element of refinement. So if you think about metals like silver and gold, they come from the earth, okay? But when we wear them, right, in our jewelry or whatever, they have to be cleansed, they have to be purified, they have to be transformed from their raw material form to something that's basically kind of like shiny and beautiful. And then we have all the, you know, the copper, the silver, you know, the gold that we wear or utilize in our life. So the element of metal is the element that's about refinement, integrity, and truth. So think about in your life, where are you living your truth or where you're not living your truth? Think about how can you refine your life so that you really are standing in your truth, you really are standing in your integrity. So that can mean showing up as your authentic self and stop putting on a nice little mask. You know, that could mean expressing yourself in relationships where you feel like your needs are not being met, or that you need boundaries, right? You need to create better boundaries. The metal element also deals with boundaries. So these are some things you might want to look at. So these are 3 tips to help you tap into this season of autumn and this energy of the metal element. Number 1, purge and detox, go through and sort what's needed and what's coming with you for the rest of the year into next year, and what is not, what needs to be cut. Think about that metal element like that sword, right? We're cutting what is no longer serving us. Number 2, as you are cutting, purging, and detoxing, think about it as you are creating space. So what are you creating space for? What are you calling in that is going to be more satisfying and more in alignment than that with which you've let go? And number 3, think about refining your life. Think about living in truth, in integrity, in authenticity, all right? So I hope these tips really help you to tap into this season of metal. This is a really powerful season. We know we got hurricanes going on, you know, in certain parts of the world that has been tearing up, you know, and of course, compassion to people who have been affected by these hurricanes. But it is a very powerful demonstration of the way energy will come and uproot that which is not solid, that which needs to be rebuilt and reformed and restructured, right? The metal element can be aligned, kind of like the, you know, the element of air. It's kind of coming in, like those hurricanes is coming in and is just uprooting what did not have a strong foundation, what needs to be restructured and rebuilt and reformed. It's coming in to show you what's not working, like the energy of the hurricanes we're seeing in hurricane season right now. Okay. So with that, I'm really super excited to have some events coming up that's going to help you to uproot and to do some of this work. So look out for another email from me or another video from me coming up. I'm going to have a nice for what challenge for all of you ladies who do have the issue of being a people pleaser, wearing a nice little mask, and not living in integrity and in alignment with your divine feminine power. By the end of this month, we're going to have a powerful 3-day event that's going to help you to be the hurricane, right? To be your own hurricane and uproot those things that are no longer working for you. So I'll be sending out an email about that in the next week or so, inviting you to sign up for the 3-day Nice for What challenge. So if you are watching this on YouTube or somewhere else and you're not on my email list, please go to letgoletgoddess.com and get on my email list so you will get the link for that challenge when it does come out, because I'm looking to take anybody who wants to on this very powerful journey to release, to let go, to detox, to purge, to refine your life so that you can live in alignment with your truth. Okay, so Goddess, I love you and I want you to create space. So spend some time this month, this week, today, going through these 3 steps of purging, detoxing, creating space, refinement, living your truth, so that you can be the goddess that you are meant to be. Okay, so talk soon. Have an amazing week and bye.